Guys, we joke all the time about Code, say he's weak, make memes about him, call him a pushover. At least in practice, he hasn't shown anything impressive so far, he's just been getting beaten up, and we know that. But we have to remember that, in theory, he's more powerful than Naruto. In theory, he's more powerful than Jigen, who's stronger than Naruto and Sasuke. He might be missing for now, but is this just a distraction so he can come back stronger than ever, maybe as Boruto's final villain? Truth be told, Code has one of the greatest potentials in the entire story. That's something we definitely need to admit, and I'm sure Ikemoto is working on something for him. But before anything else, drop your like, because we're going to try to figure out what Code's trajectory will be now. If you've already liked the video, leave a comment about what you think of Code. Do you like this character? Are you enjoying Boruto? Well, Code started to matter in the story after Ishiki died. Code sort of took on the fight with everyone, being responsible for making the big horned guy fall. He kind of created his own death note, a list of all the people he wanted to kill, and from there the story started to hype him up. Saying he's the top guy, that he's stronger than Ishiki and all that. That he's hardcore. In practice, though, that's not what we saw, you know that. He might be stronger than everyone, but the problem is he only ended up fighting people who soloed him. That's a problem. After releasing his limiters, he got soloed by Demon and Boruto. Even with his army of dirty claws, Sasuke still managed to wear him down and even cut his eye out. But wasn't Code supposed to be stronger than Ishiki, who's stronger than Naruto and Sasuke combined? In the end, he just keeps losing. There's no way we can see in practice if he's really all that people say he is, you get it? Well, now that another threat has shown up, he's been kind of sidelined. Because of him, now there are some ugly creatures, dressed in leather, roaming around trying to eat people. So, after getting beaten by Boruto and seeing that things could go south for him against these creatures, he decided to take off. Since then, we don't know what's up with him, where he's going. What Ikemoto will do with him is a mystery. In one of Ikemoto and Kishimoto's latest interviews, one thing Ikemoto mentioned was that Code was supposed to have already died in the story. Look at that! For some reason, they decided to keep him, right? There's a possibility that they don't really know what to do with him. That could be happening, but to me, it's one of two things: either Code is going to come back as a much more powerful villain, outsmarting the Shinjus, or he'll return as a temporary ally to Boruto or Konoha. Honestly, I can see both scenarios happening. I can't even bet on just one of those possibilities. In the first scenario, we could imagine Code finding a way to get even stronger through the Shinjus. Maybe something like Black Zetsu using Madara to revive Kagaya. Who knows, maybe Code will even eat a chakra fruit if the Shinjus manage to bloom and reach that point. If that happens, he could definitely become a huge threat, Kagaya level or something like that in proportion. Or maybe he'll awaken a new Shinjutsu that puts him on equal footing with Boruto. Now, in the second scenario, Code might return as a temporary ally to Boruto or Konoha. Because, look, imagine this, the Shinjus turn against him too, and in that situation, he might end up teaming up with Boruto out of convenience. This wouldn't be unheard of in anime, we know that. We've seen villains temporarily teaming up with heroes in many arcs, and in the end, it always turns out to be interesting. I like that, when you see a villain teaming up with the good guys. It could be a momentary thing, just for them to deal with a bigger threat that both need to face. But it's that kind of alliance that we know could end in betrayal at any moment. I don't know why, but I can totally see Code redeeming himself and fighting alongside Boruto. It sounds strange at first, but it makes sense if we look closer. Code has this obsession with the Otsutsuki and has already shown that he has blind respect for them. At some point, he might even recognize that Boruto being another Otsutsuki is his only chance of survival. Maybe he'll see Boruto as the new leader he's been looking for, especially now that Ishiki is gone. But there's one thing I think will happen in either of the two scenarios: Boruto marking Code with karma. Pay attention, remember when Kawaki said way back that Boruto, being a full Otsutsuki, could now mark Code with karma? That possibility is still on the table and could happen in either scenario, which would be awesome. In the first scenario, if Code becomes a massive threat, Boruto might feel the need to mark him as a backup plan in case things go south. In the second scenario, Code himself might offer to be Boruto's vessel in a moment of desperation, maybe as some kind of sacrifice. I don't know, something like that. Now, why would Code do that? Like I said, remember he was obsessed with Ishiki? He wanted to be Ishiki's vessel more than anything. That made him hate Kawaki because Kawaki had what he wanted most but never valued it. Now, with omnipotence, that hatred he had for Kawaki has shifted to Boruto. So, it would be interesting to see how this dynamic would change if Code offered himself as Boruto's vessel. Maybe it'd be a moment of redemption, or even madness, it doesn't matter. One day he might see Boruto as his last chance to fulfill his desire to serve the Otsutsuki. Man, that would be so cool. Either way, Code, to me, is a villain who still doesn't have a clear goal. I think you guys agree on that. Now, with all these changes in the story, it's hard to say where he's headed. I feel like he's a bit lost. Maybe it's even intentional, you know? A way for Ikemoto to show that Code hasn't known what he's doing since Ishiki died, or maybe Ikemoto just doesn't know what to do with Code. That could be it. But one thing's for sure, Code still has a lot to offer in the story, and Ikemoto can't let this guy fade away without exploring all he can be. But tell me, do you like Code? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't leave without subscribing, it's really important for us to keep bringing videos for you. That's it for this video. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.